Hope. Sure seems to be in short supply these days, doesn't it? In fact, the day that I wrote this script was the day that the Supreme Court decision announcing the end of Roe v. Wade leaked here in the United States, revealing the latest attack to the already under-barraged rights of women, LGBTQ folks, and other marginalized folks in my country. And add to that a global pandemic, escalating violent conflicts around the world, and the endless vilification of LGBTQ people, people of color, women, and anyone really other than those who we've been trained by society, media, and the news to see as the only people worthy of empathy. It makes me, and I'm sure many of you, feel like we've removed each other from seeing our humanity, because some don't see those who live differently than they do as worthy of the same respect. So, given all of that, what is hope? I was asked that question recently by my friend Sara of the Costume Codex channel, who asked me to contribute to the One Scene for Hope project that she started, to pick a scene from a work of fiction that defined hope to me, that inspired me, that made me look out in the world positively. And when I sat down to think about it, it was actually surprisingly difficult for me to pick one. And that may surprise all of you, given that I write all the time about hope, looking for positivity even in the videos that I do on the darkest of topics. It may surprise you even more if you know how much I love Star Trek, so much that I write about it constantly and have it literally tattooed on my arms. How Star Trek inspires me to think of the future as something worth fighting for. Yet, if I was going to pick a scene that encapsulated hope to me, I wanted it to be a scene that spoke to what we need right now. The hope that I need right now. There are so many excellent scenes of hope in Star Trek. I could go on and on and on and on about numerous ones of them. And of course, being me, thinking about it brought me to a scene from Star Trek Enterprise of all the shows. A moment from the show's series finale, Terra Prime. Don't look it up, it's definitely the series finale. There's no other episodes after that, just trust me on that one. Anyways, it led me to this scene.
The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us. All of us to each other. The final frontier begins in this hall. Let's explore it together.
Okay, wait, no, stop this. Jessie, come on, that's too easy. A Star Trek Enterprise scene? Y'all know that I love the long road, but come on, I'm getting predictable. I need to break out of my neurodivergent hyperfocus shell a little bit and pick something else for once. Seriously though, I wanted to challenge myself to find a scene other than one from Star Trek. So I racked my brain for a week thinking about what scene defined hope for me outside of Star Trek. And one kept coming to me. It's a scene in the series finale to one of my favorite shows of all time that I've never really talked about much on this channel, Sense8. And don't worry, there's no major spoilers for the show here, because I want to just talk about this simple scene. One where all the show's main characters are heading down to Naples for the final showdown with the show's mysterious villains, all in separate vehicles, separated from each other. But then, one of them begins to listen to music. But let's back up, because some of you may not know the freaking amazing magicalness that is Sense8, and I'm sorry for you, you should go watch it. Because Sense8 is a show about connection. The series centers upon a group of 8 strangers from around the globe. The hacker Nomi, the German gangster Wolfgang, the melodramatic Mexican actor Lido, the Chicago cop Will, kick-ass warrior Sun, the inspiring bus driver Capheus, the DJ Riley, and the devout Hindu dealing with the expectations of an arranged marriage, Kala.
You're not in love with him.
And these 8 strangers at the beginning of the show suddenly begin appearing in each other's lives, able to sense each other, see each other across the world, and even take over each other's bodies from time to time to give each other their skills and knowledge. We even see them begin to feel each other's sensations and emotions, like Lido getting emotional during one of the other 8's menstruation cycle.
And the knowledge that all beauty is temporary, decay and death haunt every breath we take.
And as a result, they all begin to bond with each other, supporting each other during their toughest moments in their own stories. They fight for each other and fall in love with each other. But more importantly, what they find is that despite their endless differences in diversity, their vast ranges of experiences in different cultures, jobs, genders, classes, races, and more, they can always relate to each other. Some of the most powerful scenes in the show are when the characters just talk to each other and realize that despite everything, they share a kernel of truth inside themselves through their experiences together. This scene, for example, between Leto and Nomi always makes me cry every time I watch it.
That locker room might have made my father the man that he is, but it also made me the woman that I am. After that, I quit the swim club. I quit trying to fit in, trying to be one of them. I knew I never would be. But more importantly, I didn't want to be. Their violence was petty and ignorant, but ultimately it was true to who they were. The real violence. The violence that I realized was unforgivable was the violence that we do to ourselves when we're too afraid to be who we really are.
Nomi, a trans woman, shares her experience dealing with childhood abuse for her identity, but also finds beauty, or at least something to take away from it, and connects it to Leto's fear at being out with his boyfriend in his acting career. Despite their vast cultural and individual experiences, they can connect and make each other greater than the sum of their parts.
Whatever you decide to do, just know you won't have to do it alone.
The show is all about finding that type of connection with each other. How our humanity may reflect through an endless prism of differences, but how the refractions of light make a rainbow only because each color, each beam, works together to make a whole more beautiful than they could be individually. It's a show about how we are all stronger together because of our differences, because our differences show us how similar we really are. Which brings us back to that road trip in the series finale as they head down to the big showdown. Each of our 8 are driving not only with each other, but with their significant others and friends. There's Nomi's fiancé and best friend, Kala's husband who just accepted to be part of her and Wolfgang's polycule, as well as Leto's husband and their kinda sorta non-sexual romantic female partner. This show is all sorts of queer, by the way. But as they drive, Riley begins to play music in her earbuds, and the rest of the Sense8s begin to hear it through their connection with each other. As the music grows in all of them, they start to share the music with their non-Sense8 partners through earbuds and stereos, and they all, despite being in vastly different locations and even technically different species of humanity, just get lost in the music.
This is the morning of Valor. I feel you. Your heart it sings. I feel you. The joy it brings.
As someone myself on the autistic spectrum, I sometimes get sensory overload when watching TV shows when they go into just musical scenes. I love music so much, but it's sometimes hard for me to not get overstimulated by it, losing myself in the emotion and often stimming just in excitement at the noise. I revel in just the experience of sound, how it connects me to something beyond my body. And this scene just grabs me every time like that, because it takes that out-of-body experience that I feel and connects it to other humans. It shows that we aren't just ourselves, we are all our connection to others and all of those around us. And the lyrics of the song, I Feel You, reflect that.
This is the morning of Valor. This is the dawning of Valor.
And that's what this scene is to me. A dawning. The beginning of this group of people starting to realize how big they really are. They aren't just individual people, they aren't just the 8 of them that are part of their Sense8 pod, they're all of themselves. All of them, their significant others, their friends, every human. The emotion of the music reveals to them their humanity, not locked away in their individual selves, but the whole totality of how they are connected to everyone around them that is intersected with their lives. That's the hope that I feel, that I need. A hope that recognizes, no, takes sheer delight in the differences of humanity, in connection. Some might even say that the most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us, all of us, to each other. It's almost as if the hope that I find in any scene of fiction is always about finding our mutual humanity for each other, in loving each other no matter who we are. That's hope. That's where the final frontier begins. If we accept that our differences don't make us less human, they actually make us something more than human. And let's explore that together.
This is the morning of valor. This is the dawning of valor.
Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. I was really honored to be asked by Sara to take part in the One Scene for Hope project. And if you want to take part in the One Scene for Hope project, please make your own video about a work of fiction that gives you hope, and then message me or Sara and we'll add your video to the playlist. And if you want to check out some of the other videos that have already been made, check out the playlist below because there are some really beautiful and amazing ones down there. But with all that said, please don't forget to subscribe. I've got some amazing videos coming up on the very soon horizon. Like, I am very excited for some of the videos that I got coming up over the next month or so. Like, prepare yourself. So subscribe for all of that. Don't forget I have a Patreon to support me at. I have a podcast called Jumpgate where I rewatch Babylon 5 with one of my friends. But beyond all of that, just thank you so much for being here. Please have hope in the future. And I hope that you, as always, live long and prosper. Here we go. I know I've used this song once before, but I like it so much, so here's some more. I just want to say to my Patreons, I love you so much, and here's this song to say thank you. If it's the beat. Alex Miller, Alicia Strice, Ali Gober, Annie with an I, Ish Indra, Ashley Allenbo, Kiki Yo, Barbaruski, Beatrix Provers, Bella Lugosi, Blue, Blueberry Hill, Boyd and Mary Bethero, Casual Observer, Catherine Lambeth, Celestial Dawn, Chloe Dollar, Chris Boodley, Crit Facts, Cyber Quaker, D. Ray, Dominic Noble, Drew Betch, Lygia Tativi, Elizabeth Christensen, Elijah M. Ish the Mad, Ferangato, Felicia Toast, Flynn, G-Man 42, Hacker Men, Here Reeses, Holly Walters, James Hodge, James Krivda, Jason Nutt, Jedi, Indiana Jones, Jemption, Jennifer Fuss, Jenny Mabel, Jessica Wright, Joe Herman Hold, John Weatherby, Joseph Dewey, Julie Mason, Justine, Kaylis, Kari Erin Foss, Kevin Froteg, Laura Demerol, Leoetha Boyd, Lily Gray, Luna T, Lysa, Maeve, Maggie the Goblin, Matt Chung, Meadow Whisperer, Melinda Walters, Melody Ann Winters Good, Mary Mello, Michael Godey, Miranda Janelle, Maureen the Pirate Queen, Nathan Steele, Nathil Fraughton, Nikki Gordon Bloomfield, Odd Just Odd, Peter Landers, Pissed and Twisted Garage, Randy Thompson, Sarah Bystam, Sarah Lemerow, Sarah Leslie Hutchkins, Sasha M, Sean Piper, Shield Maiden 44444, Sky Skinner, Sonia Nero Spooky Heather Sylvia, Steven Richardson, Steven Clenard, Strawberry Pup Tart, Super Desi, Still Restaurato, Tiffany Danger, Transit Toronto, Troy Stull, Ulysses the Pagan, Verdux Kai, Vincent Ellington, W. Randy, E.D., Wellington Marcus, Wendes Abizel, William Stewart, Zoe Kerr, Zone 1 Librarian. Thank you so much to all of you, my patrons, and one final note to wrap up on. I did recently learn that sadly one member of my patron community sadly passed away recently. So for one final time, I just wish to say thank you so much to Eva Kniva for all that you gave me and all the support that you gave me. It meant the world to me, and I send you, and especially your family right now, some love.